Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm reviewing LEGO Disney Frozen set number 43197, the Ice Castle. This has 1,709 pieces. It is the largest LEGO set and first ever direct-to-consumer set that features mini dolls instead of minifigures. And I forgot to mention it retails for $200 in the US. I think that this is a worthy successor to the Disney Castle, and this is just amazing because I'm one of those people that has wanted a gigantic version of Elsa's Ice Castle since I saw Frozen in 2013. I know a lot of people are disappointed that this set has dolls instead of figures. I think it makes sense though. The minifigure scale Disney direct-to-consumer sets have corresponded with minifigure series, and there is no minifigure series in 2021. And I think these mini dolls are gorgeous. This is the very first time we're ever getting a coronation Elsa. You can see she's kind of leaning forward. That's an unfortunate consequence of this gigantic cape piece, which I'll show you a better look at in just a second. So they don't stand up properly, like they tip forward really easily. That's kind of irritating to me, but the capes look so good, I'll forgive it. Her dress looks great. It looks exactly like the movie. I don't love her face. I don't know, like she looks a little bit too grown up to me, but I mean, that's a pretty minor complaint. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I would definitely prefer for Elsa's hair color to be white instead of that like blonde color, because I just think it's too yellow for her hair. She's holding the scepter and orb from that kind of like coronation scene. And then she does have painted arms. So I don't know what color they are. I think they're black painted with this aqua color, but that's just a really, really nice detail. And I love that, you know, LEGO went to the length to print her arms. She's got her tiara, and then back here, I'll push it back, you can see a better look at her cape that is printed with this like metallic printing like thing of Arendelle, like the crest, I don't know what it is, but it looks very nice. And then at the back you can see she does have a little bit of back printing, which is great to see as well. I really like that mini dolls are starting to get more and more back printing. And Coronation Elsa is succeeded by the best version of Ice Queen Elsa that we have ever gotten. LEGO's made a bunch of these, of course, because this is, you know, like her main look. And I've said before, I kind of would have liked it if LEGO had just pretended like this was based on Frozen 2 and given us, you know, the Frozen 2 versions of the figures. But she looks amazing. I love the metallic printing again on her arms as well. The skirt is printed. I don't know if I've ever seen it printed like up that high to the waist. So it just looks great, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Her face looks nice. Love her hairpiece, even though, again, I do wish it was white. And look at that, like, sparkly cape piece. It reminds me of Lord Business's cape from the Lego movie. I don't think it's the same piece because it is too soft, and I think his was actually even bigger. But this is a very nice iridescent part, and then if you lift that up, sorry, I forgot, you won't be able to see any back printing because of her hair. So let's pop that off. And then there is her back printing. So again, really nice. I love that, you know, they went to such lengths to print, you know, that metallic blue color. And the other thing that I really like about this Elsa compared to past Elsa figures are her ice blasts, because she's often just had, you know, like a water piece or something. But here they give her like actual crystal pieces on like the superhero, like standing thing, you know, like the superhero shooting piece almost. And so I think that that looks really, really nice, and it's perfect. The only other thing I could ask for were, if this was a little bit glittery or iridescent, that would be the icing on the cake, but I mean, they're pretty awesome as is. Next up, we've got Anna. We have gotten this outfit of hers before, but I don't think I've ever owned one. So I do really like it. Again, fantastic printing. Not as good as Elsa, but I mean, Anna's outfit isn't as nice. She's holding a little snowball piece, which is great. And she does have a new cut for the cape. So I think that that's really nice that we get so many capes. And it does look like it's flowing in the wind, like Batman's new cape pieces. This headpiece, or hairpiece, sorry, it's been used a lot before, I believe. I don't think it's new at all for this set. And she does have a minuscule amount of back printing as well. Here's Kristoff. He's fine. I mean, I don't really care about him, but I don't think his face looks like the movie at all. He just looks like a generic Friends character to me. His lantern is a nice little build, and I do like his printing. Again, it is done very well. And then he doesn't have any detailing around the back, though, which is kind of surprising to me. I would have thought that he would. And here's the other really cool part of the set. We finally have, like, a proper Olaf. LEGO's been slowly getting better and better at them, going from the brick-built body to, you know, like this body. And now he finally has his hair, which was sorely missing from earlier figures. So I think that this is definitely the best Olaf that LEGO has ever made. If you haven't seen this body before, it was introduced with the Frozen 2 sets. There's a little pinhole at that button, so you can put like a bow on him or something. He has normal, mini doll-like arms, but that's pretty much it for the articulation, except for the head, which is on, if I can get it off, a regular minifigure piece. So you can make some, demonic figures out of this. He's holding a little, like flower piece, and he doesn't have any back printing, but I want to talk about this head because it is dual molded with that blue for the background of his mouth. That is great because, previous Olaf figures were lacking depth. And I'm very surprised that it's dual molded instead of just printed, but I guess they took the opportunity because they did have to make a new piece to fit in this Minions, like Kevin hairpiece that goes straight into his head. So I think that that works out fantastically. That was a great hairpiece choice for him. And then if, again, you haven't seen this figure before, his nose just pulls out like that, and then he looks really creepy. You also get 4 snow geese in this set. I do love these guys. I haven't gotten them before, and I think that this is LEGO's best design so far. They're using the BB-8 headpiece down below, like for feet. I think that that represents, their little feet pretty well, and then they've got this print for the face. I don't know if that's new. I know we've gotten snow geese before. I've just never personally owned them. But it's nice that we get 4 of them. Even though they weren't in the Frozen movie, they are fairly well associated with Elsa. And they do live in the palace now with Marshmallow in universe, so I'm glad that we got some. This castle is amazing. It is beautiful. I love it so much, but it is also way too tall to fit in my camera's field of view. A lot of that height just comes from that kind of decorative icicle up on top. So I'm not going to be showing the castle in its entirety ever again. We're just going to zero in on the main area and I'll show you guys as much as possible. So first of all, we're going to talk about the translight blue color. Everything that you see here is that new opalescent kind of satiny color. So I tried to film this before I lost all of the natural light because it is a lot easier to see in natural light, but I'm going to end up, filming most of this kind of at night just with my ring light. But it is just gorgeous. You can see the way it moves. You've got purples, you've got blues in there, and then it even turns green at some angles. So it is really just a joy to look at. And I'm going to have to find a really good spot to display it where I can see that full rainbow of colors. So here's the front door. We do have a little bit of a staircase up to the doors. I like that LEGO tried to do something, but it's kind of a pathetic staircase in my opinion. It's not really long enough, and you can't really put mini dolls on it well because it's just a bunch of cheese slopes. So I'm glad that they tried for sure. It would have sucked to completely lose that. But I just wonder if there's any way that they could have made a steeper staircase and not something so shallow. But the height of the castle is something I want to talk about. Not how tall it gets, but just how far the base is off the ground. We'll talk about that when we get to the inside. You do have a couple of these blue trees scattered around. I don't really need those, they're kind of useless. And the other thing that I really hate about the front of the castle, the only thing that I really dislike about the design besides something else that I'll mention soon, is these pillars. These are just flex tube pieces. They are super easy to push around. And that one, as you can see, is bent. I can't even get it to sit straight. And it just looks bad to me. It breaks up that beautiful blue look that continues all the way up to the top of the balcony. And so I don't understand why LEGO put that in there because I watched the Frozen movies. Elsa's castle does not have snow pillars flanking the ice in front. They also don't provide any actual support. They're really easy to take off, so I'll probably just keep them removed. But I just don't think they look good. The only explanation I can think of is that LEGO was trying to cover up that Technic beam that you can see through these opalescent pieces. The angles of this castle are a beautiful thing to behold. You've got a bunch of these pentagonal tiles, but you just have a lot of interesting shapes all over. I love these little sub-assemblies on the side. These are actually just added on right at the end, so you can take it off really easily. And this gives you a really nice look at that satiny color. Again, you really need to see it in person. You have these giant Nexonites, windshield pieces used all over that look fantastic. And there are a bunch of new pieces introduced here for the very first time. So I'm going to take a second to talk about that because this set has so many new pieces in this opalescent color, which hasn't been used a lot since 2020. But then we have brand new pieces like these. These are wedge bricks. These are not the satin color. They're just, more of a matte finish than other LEGO bricks. I don't even know how to describe them, but they do fit in, with other 4x4 corner pieces that LEGO's made in the past. Then we've also got these pieces. I don't actually know if these are new. I guess I shouldn't have put that back on. I think that these have been in some other sets. I don't think they're brand new just to Elsa's Ice Palace. but they're kind of just like corner wedge pieces, like those corner macaroni bricks, but just super tall, like a wall panel. So these are just weird places to introduce these new molds, if those are in this set for the first time. I believe there's a rounded version of them that came in like Ninjago City, but this is the first time I've seen this angled one. But that is not all, because you also have these new like something by 3 wedge brick pieces. They're like the existing, I think they're not 5, they're like 3 bricks tall, I think. We had that wedge brick that was like 3 bricks tall and it went out by 2 studs at an angle. This is in that same family, but it goes out by 3 studs. So again, just a really interesting place to introduce that piece for the first time. The doors, which I accidentally glossed over, look gorgeous. All of the stickers in this set are holographic, and you can just push those open super easily. The only thing about the holographic stickers is that they are a little bit harder to apply than regular ones. And of course, on doors like this, it's really hard to get them to match up evenly. And moving up a level now, we've come to the balcony. This is one of my favorite areas of the set. It's an iconic location. And it's made, I believe, using the exact same method as like the last biggest Ice Palace set that was like $80 with these kind of curved windshield pieces. But again, new and opalescent. They've got holographic stickers on them and they open up like that really easily. So it's pretty nice to position figures on there. The one thing I don't like about this balcony is how narrow the doorway is, because I want Elsa, you know, like sitting out here, like lording over, you know, whatever's going on over her Ice Palace, but her cape will get stuck in the entryway, and so you can't lie it flat. It'll get bent and then like messed up forever. That's really irritating to me. I do love that she has the long cape, but honestly, I kind of would have preferred a smaller one in that same color. Just something more narrow so that it wouldn't get stuck in the doorway like that. Because if you don't want it to get stuck in the doorway, she has to be standing like all the way back here. And then it doesn't really look like she's lording over her mountain because she's so far away from the railing. Continuing to climb up, we've got more of those Nexonites pieces, but you've also got some really nice stickered aqua parts. You guys know I love this aqua color, and this set has so much of it. I was like in heaven. I do really like these stickers. Again, they are all holographic. I feel like it's not showing up super great here, but the effect is really nice in person. And then we also have more angled sections that are attached in a pretty interesting way. I also want to talk about the spires now. There's a bunch of these spires all over the castle. They're kind of a pain to build, and you do it right at the end, but it is nice to see the Chima crystal return, and they do provide a pretty nice look to this. And then the last thing I want to talk about down here, you can see Technic beams through the railings. That doesn't bother me too much. Sorry, through the ice, I mean. But it doesn't bother me too much because the Technic assemblies, they are really important to strengthening the entire castle. And because these parts are opalescent, they aren't too noticeable. I was thinking while building, like I love the opalescence, but I wonder how it would look in just plain trans blue. Because that would be really awesome. That would be more like ice. But then on the flip side, you'd be able to see all of the different colors inside and those Technic beams a lot more clearly. And the thing that I actually wanted to talk about on this side were the little archways. I love the way that those are built, but they are pretty fragile while you're actually in the process. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention about the exterior before we get right up to the top is that a lot of people are disappointed that this set isn't completely transparent. I don't think it should be completely transparent. That is a completely unrealistic expectation, but I don't like all of the white. I didn't mind it in the in the official set pictures, but all of that white, like straight down the side of the castle, I don't think it looks great. I would have really preferred that LEGO just do a solid blue color, like the aqua, or even like this kind of medium azure used on the steps, because at least that would look like ice, like thick ice that's opaque, but not like snow. And so I do think that there is just too much white in the center of this castle. But let's go ahead and finish up because I feel like I'm spending too much time on the exterior, although this is basically what you're paying for. Like, this is really a display piece, so I want to show you guys all of the angles, and I just love talking about it. You've got a little window all the way up here. You'll see what's in there in a second. And then as you can see, just a ton more of those Nexonites pieces. They fit into all of the other angled pieces so well. And it's a gorgeous effect when this is all said and done. Like, I'm in love with this set. I love what LEGO's done here, and I love all of the differently colored pieces. And we'll go right up to the top so that you guys can see this like icicle thing that I was talking about. It's one of these helicopter blades in trans light blue, and I'll just go ahead and break this off. And then it's got one of those like snowflake pieces at the very top. And those snowflake pieces are perfect. They look exactly like the frozen snowflake, and then it's just topped off with another one of those spires. So this is what gives it all of its height at the end, but it looks gorgeous. I know I gushed about the outside of this set, but the interior is also a sight to behold. Elsa's ice castle is known for its, like spiral staircases and obviously ice sculptural elements. And this set gets that perfect. Like with this staircase, it's just really impressive. And then up above, we actually have some rooms that weren't even in the movie. So I like that, Legos tried to pad out the interior with their own details. So starting at the ground floor, you can see what I mean about the castle being risen off its base. To account for the staircase, it is about 2 bricks higher than the base. That's a really interesting choice to me. While I was building it, it seemed pretty extreme, like you can just see around the sides, because the easiest comparison for this set is obviously the Disney Castle, and I actually will be doing a full comparison video with that after I get back from vacation next week. But it's so much further off the base than the Disney Castle. There's a whole hollowed out section in here with a Mickey Mouse buildable silhouette and stuff, like his classic Mickey head, that just gets covered up. So I was really surprised, and honestly, considering how high off the ground it feels, there really isn't that much of a staircase outside. So even though it would have felt even higher, I do kind of wish that Lego raised it by 1 more brick so that we could get a better staircase. We have some gorgeous holographic stickers down here. Again, I don't know how well they're showing up, but it's a very nice rainbow effect. And you've got another giant one on this fountain down here, which I actually may as well just completely pick up. This is a really interesting build. I love that, beautiful frozen snowflake down there. And then we do have 1 iridescent dish with some non-iridescent ones. That doesn't look good to me. I wish that this one was just a plain blue as well, because everything else is just trans light blue and not, like the iridescent color. At the back, we've got a little piano. I'm just going to pull that out for you. It's not connected to any studs, but it's a great build. I really like it. Getting a white piano obviously looks like it's made out of snow, and that is a sticker there, but it's just a very nice build, and it uses these new 2L bar pieces for the bottom, which are cropping up in the Benatar set as well, but this is personally my first experience with them, and so I just think that this is a fantastic build. But you build all the furnishings at the end, and that kind of annoys me. I never like finishing a build with small things. I would have just liked to, build the last bit of the castle instead of having to build all the furnishings and spires last. I forgot to mention we have another tree down here. These doors don't lead to anything. They're just a clever way to fill up the gap between the stairs. And I did not mean to break that. But these stairs look pretty steep. They're actually built using Technic pieces in Aqua, which is really interesting. And the build, like I said, it is much more Technic than something like the Disney Castle. You can see the lift arms. Not quite, sorry. You can see the lift arms up here. You've got really large Technic bracing pieces in the walls. I don't love that these lift arms are exposed. These could have very easily been covered up by just a couple of tiles. The ones on the side don't bother me at all because they're harder to see, but the ones back there do. So I really wish that Lego had just given us a couple tiles. There is another stickered piece in the center of the staircase. And then this is the entrance to the balcony. In the movie, this is, Elsa's not even throne room. It's just the big open middle area of the castle. Lego didn't do that here, which I get and I'm fine with because I really like having the cavernous entry hall. But I do wish that there was a suggestion of steps up there because this just looks like a super awkward exit. However, there is an amazing feature up here, and that would be the ice chandelier. It is beautiful. I love the way that it's built. And sorry, trying to adjust the camera here. It's actually on a ball joint, so you can take it out pretty easily, and this is actually a great way to give you a better look at it. It's got a bunch of these crystal chima pieces, the chi, and a couple of these snowflakes. And so this is one of my favorite builds in the set because I think it just looks gorgeous and it fits in really well. And the final thing before we move up another level is all of these stickers. It is annoying to put them on door frames just because I want them to all line up and look perfect, but I mean, it's honestly not that hard. I say it's annoying, but it's not it's difficult, and they look amazing when complete, especially because if you just turn it a little bit, you get that really nice rainbow holographic effect. This is Elsa's throne room. It's not my favorite room in the castle because I just love the stairs and entranceway too much, but this is a really awesome little area. You've got a map of Arendelle on the wall here, which is nice because I feel like it's the first time we're actually seeing how everything is laid out. You can see the Arendelle castle if I move this ice sculpture, and then you can also see Elsa's castle. This is actually Queen Iduna, Elsa and Anna's mother. I really like that. I especially like the tiara piece in Translate Blue. On the other wall, we've got a picture of the Arendelle Castle at night, which looks gorgeous as well, holographic again. This seems to be like a little model of, I guess it's the Arendelle Castle, because it doesn't really look like the ice castle. And then jumping back to this wall, I know I'm going back and forth a little bit. We've got a ship in a bottle and an hourglass piece from Elves that hasn't appeared for a few years. That's my first version of that piece, and I think it's really nice. On the wall over here, you've just got a little ice heart, and then you've got a couple of skates back there. In the center, we've got Elsa's throne, which was actually kind of hard to position. Did not mean to do that, but it's kind of hard to position because these pieces kept wanting to knock into the plate up here, but it looks very nice. We do have a couple of stickers. If I can get this out, let's hope I can get it back in. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, the plate just really impacts that. But you've got a couple of nice stickers with that snowflake motif. And then back there, you've got the same snowflake on a couple of banners. Those are just 2x6 tiles, and they look amazing as well. So as you can see, all of the furniture is pretty easily removable because like these things are just on jumpers, and it lets you get in here very well. You can kind of remove this. It's not really designed to be. It's much sturdier than the Disney castle in that way, but it was attached, you know, separately from the rest. And then up here, you've got Elsa's bed, which is a very nice build. I was kind of surprised that it's not removable because like the top of the bed does support the roof up above, and it's kind of hard to see. I'm gonna just try tilting the entire castle back, but you do have a very nice bedspread sticker, and then you've got these nice Nexo Knights pieces up there. So you could fit 2 people on here, and the window back there is open. So I do really like how this space was used up here. At the second to last level, you've got a little wardrobe with some more stickers. These doors can be open, but there are no clothes inside. Instead, there's a little photo of Anna and Elsa as kids, and that's actually on the inside of like a castle wall piece with that cutout window that just gets covered up. So I thought that that was interesting parts usage. And then all the way up on top of that, in the final level of the castle, there's just a little jumper, and this holds Elsa's childhood puffin toy. So that's a very nice detail as well. When set pictures came out, I did not even, you know, recognize this piece. Here's one last look at the interior. Again, this is just a very, very nice and well-detailed set. Now let's just wrap up this review. Here are the extra parts, a nice little selection of icy pieces. You've got one of those new 2L bars. And then shockingly, you get 3 extra printed like Technic orb pieces. So you've got the puffin face, that's cool, but then you get 2 extra Snowgies. I was shocked by that. I saw that someone else got like 1 extra, so that's all I was expecting. 1 extra of each of these is still like, you know, pretty surprising to me. But to get another one, that's like really great. I wish I had some more unprinted BB-8 heads to put these on because I really wanted more Snowgies in this set anyway. We've got a nice tall box for this set, but it's not a completely ridiculous size, and I do love the art with the castle against the mountain. I just think it looks really nice. The one thing that I do want to point out that I find odd is that it uses the Frozen 2 logo just with the 2 removed. That's quite strange to me. On the top, we do have the minifigures or mini dolls. Got a nice image of the castle on the side. And again, lots of nice, you know, snowflake art around the sides. I feel like I'm spending a lot of time with this set just talking about really little things, but it's because all of the little things about it are so nice. And here's the back of the box, although I'm very shocked that it doesn't show any like insets of like the rooms. Like what you see is what you get. Like it's very empty. They could have filled in some of the side with just like closer snapshots of the rooms. Here's the instruction manual, more gorgeous art just like the front of the box. This is the used up sticker sheet so that you guys can see how many stickers there are. It is almost as big as the manual, but they weren't too bad to put on. It just got kind of annoying when you had to put on a bunch at once, but you can really see the like, you know, holographicness here. And then this is kind of like an architecture set because it does, or I guess an 18+ set now, because it does walk you through a little bit about the castle, which I think is really nice. I always love it when you have little touches like that. But other than that, the manual is fairly straightforward. Although the one thing I do want to call out, first of all, the colors, whenever teal was used, it always looked like a dark green, which was confusing to me. But the other thing is that in all of these photos, the kind of like satiny opalescent blue, it just looks like regular Translate blue. Again, I'm really interested to know how that would look, but like, I don't know. It's just like, This is the opalescent color. This is the clear color. There does not seem to be enough of a difference there. So like if you ever dismantle this and mix this with your parts collection, I feel like it would be really hard to discern that. And I feel like LEGO should do a better way of showing that. So this is an absolutely amazing set. I think that it's going to pair very nicely with the Disney Castle. I can't wait to put the two of them together. I'm not bothered by the choice of mini dolls over minifigures because for me it's about the set. If I want minifigures, I've got mine from the, Disney minifigures series too. The one thing about it, well, first of all, the price, it's $200. Is this a $200 set? Like, yes, but also no. I don't know. It's like the build was very quick, but at the same time, it was very fulfilling. It was complex. So it doesn't feel like it's not worth $200, but it also doesn't quite feel like it is worth $200. I think it's just going to be a, like, you have to decide for yourself kind of situation. I do think $180 would have been a better price for it. It does irritate me that it's only got 1,700 pieces for $200, and like the Disney Castle had 4,000 for like $350. I know piece count isn't everything, but I do think it's the best metric, and I'm willing to look past it a bit for this set because of, all of the opalescent pieces, all of the new molds it's introducing. We do have a lot of nice prints, with the snow geese. And so I'm willing to look past that stuff, but it does feel a little bit expensive. The other thing that I dislike about it, which I will be spinning it around for, is that there is too much white. That's not an issue I had with the set before I built it. But seeing it in person, it's too much white, especially when you compare it to like the picture in the book. Like, look at this thing. I mean, might be a bad example because that looks a little bit white, but it's like entirely clear in the movie. LEGO cannot make an entirely clear set. I like that they went with opalescent over plain translight blue, although I do want to see like sketch models of this in plain translight blue, but there's just too much white in the center. There's way too much snow in the middle section of all of this. It should have really had a solid blue color instead of so much white in the middle there. So that's my biggest issue with it, but it's still a beautiful display piece. And I know I'm talking a lot, but the last thing I want to say is that I do not understand why LEGO doesn't care about this set. They dropped the pictures on Lego.com. There was no press release, even though it's like the first mini doll direct-to-consumer set, and it's like the biggest Frozen set they've ever made. They didn't send out early review copies. There was not a model of it built at the LEGO store when I went to pick it up. Like, there was just no fanfare at all around its release, which is extremely, extremely strange for a set of this caliber. Like, I don't even think there's a designer video, and I really want to find out more about this set. So I think it's a shame that LEGO just doesn't seem to have cared about its release, quite frankly. But that's it for today, so don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com. I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.